last and the final Sunday in the ordinary time. There are 33 Sundays, which means that the whole year is patterned after the life of Jesus. The liturgy of the year is based on the life of Christ. And we who follow Jesus, the whole year is a walk with Him. He is the reason for everything that we do in liturgy. And the following Sunday will be the final, will crown the entire year with the Feast of Christ the King. And then the Thanksgiving weekend will be the beginning of the new season of Advent for the year 2020. And so, today, we will talk about the end. E-N-D, end. The spirituality of end. We will see this phenomenon we are confronting every moment in our lives. We confront all kinds of ending in our lives. What is the spiritual meaning of this to us? So, the first question is, what do we feel when we hear the word end? Like when you see a good movie and you really enjoy it, and then all of a sudden, the end. What do you feel? Of course, you feel sad, because who would want a good thing to end? Nobody wants a good thing to end. Like a good book you are reading, you're flipping the pages and then all of a sudden, end. You feel sad. That's the first reaction that we have. Who would want a good thing to end when the doctor tells you that your health is ending? Of course, you're sad, because who would want to be ill? Who would want a good marriage to end? Who would want a nice celebration, a happy, joyful celebration to end? Who would want friendships to end? Who would want something beautiful that we truly enjoy to end? So the first reaction is that we are sad. On the other hand, if we confront suffering and pain and trials, like when we lose power, it's dark, and finally the electric company comes, and all of a sudden light, or you're suffering from tremendous pain, and then you go through a procedure, and then the doctor tells you you're clear. What do you feel? You feel happy, right? You feel you're free. So these two contrasting emotions of sadness and joy are our two everyday reactions to the reality of change. Everything is changing. And reactions to this is joy and sadness. Some people are happy about change. Some cannot handle change. They become impatient. But to tell you the truth, that everything material in the universe will change. From the stars. Stars are born stars die. Everything, the planets are changing constantly. The entire material universe, the skies and the seas and the earth, constantly changing. Everything material, from our homes to our cars to our appliances, everything that we have that's material is constantly changing, including our bodies. If you don't believe that, you look at your pictures. I was looking at my files and my picture when I was 15. I cannot recognize myself. My hair was up to my shoulders, you know. I said, what happened? The change is changing, including our bodies. And sometimes it is difficult to face the reality of change. You know, these emotions of endings that we are confronting every moment. Some people become impatient because it is not an option. When things are changing and transitioning, we have no choice but just to accept the reality of change, which is so real. Some people become impatient. That is why there's a lot of anger in the world, because we cannot control change. We can control it. There are things we cannot control. And if we lose control, we become frustrated and we get mad. And we blame God, we blame everybody. But the reality is, you have no choice in this. You just have to embrace and accept the reality of change. There is no choice. But what's the good news? What's the good news here? What is the spirituality of this reality of change? The good news is that in spite of the fact that all material things change, there are things that don't change. There are things that don't. Like truth doesn't change. True love doesn't change. It stands the test of time. Everything wonderful and beautiful, true beauty of the person doesn't change. Even age cannot change it. If a person is beautiful from within, it radiates, doesn't change with time. The real, meaningful, beautiful things in life don't change. Like the love of God. That in spite of the fluctuations of seasons and fortunes and misfortunes, the love of God, the faithful God, remains and prevails, who love us. One time I was talking to the audience, here, and I asked for audience participation, and the question was, what's the blessing of old age? You know, what is the blessing of old age? One lady in that side said, the beautiful thing about old age is that there are so many years that you can look back. And when you look at the past, it seems that it was difficult, you underwent so many trials, and you thought you made wrong decisions, but you look at yourself now, after those so many years, you realize everything is okay. That God did not really abandon you on those difficult moments. You were not aware that He was walking with you. You look back, God designed your life. God did not leave you alone. He did not abandon you. He cared for you. That is why you're okay now. God is there in the midst of change. That is the good news. And so this is the time, as we transition, to strengthen that trust in Him, that faith in Him. And in this month of Thanksgiving, the beautiful thing is that after we reach this point in our lives, we wake up and say, Lord, thank you. You never abandoned me. Gratitude is a sign of a happy person. You look around and God has provided you with so many blessings. You look back, Lord, thank you. You guided my path in the midst of confusion and change, in the midst of contrasting emotions. You were there. You loved me. The faithful God who never abandoned us. That is the end of the homily. Short.